Sawabe la de Olokun. Sawabe la de Olokun. Sawabe la de Olokun.
Within the Afro-Cuban tradition resides a proverb that devotees say, "No one knows what lies at the bottom of the ocean. Only the sun, Olokun, and Olokun." This proverb carries the weight of centuries of African and Afro-Cuban spiritual wisdom. On the surface, it speaks of mystery. At its core, it is a roadmap for inner awakening. Yoruba and Afro-Cuban cosmology, the ocean is not just water, it is depth, memory, ancestry, the submerged self. Olokun rules the territory beneath the waves, the realm no human eye can reach. Modern psychology would call this your unconscious. Elders call it your ori inu, your inner head, your spiritual center. The sun in this proverb is the eye of truth. It represents the spark of consciousness that can light the deepest chambers of the soul. Only illumination can reveal what is hidden. In spiritual language, this is your awareness, the part of you that witnesses everything without fear. Olokun is the guardian of the uncharted, the unmeasured power within you. Wealth, healing, turbulence, rebirth, Olokun holds all of it. Olokun's message is to accept that your depths contain both treasure and storm. The proverb says only two forces truly know the bottom, the one who illuminates and the one who dwells there. The modern seeker becomes the third force. You are the diver. You choose to descend into yourself. In the digital age, people chase information, shortcuts, and identity from the outside. This proverb reminds you that the real initiation is inward. No algorithm can decode your destiny. No platform can reveal your truth. Only you can dive into your underworld and surface with wisdom. Mystics of every era agree. Your deepest fears, your hidden gifts, your unhealed wounds, your forgotten power, they all live at the bottom of your inner ocean. Avoiding the dive keeps your life on repeat. Entering the depths transforms you. Olokun teaches that nothing real is found on the surface. For the modern age, in a world obsessed with speed and perfection, this proverb calls you back to the ancient work. Sit, breathe, notice, descend. Your depths are not meant to scare you. They are meant to liberate you. This proverb is an invitation. Know yourself the way Olokun knows the ocean. Shine light on yourself the way the sun touches the waves. Become the seeker who fears nothing within. Because the moment you dive into your own depths, you stop living at the mercy of life and start living at the command of your spirit. Listen, do you hear it? Beyond the crash of the waves, beneath the sunlit surface, there is a whisper, a deep, cold, silent hum. It is the sound of the unfathomable abyss. It is the echo of a power that predates the world. It is the sound of Olokun. Welcome, spiritual family. We are so often told to look to the sky for answers, to search the stars for our destiny. But what if the deepest wisdom, the most profound, untouchable wealth, and the most ancient truths are not above us, but beneath us? What if the key to our past, the source of our power, and the very memory of our ancestors lies in the darkness of the deep? Today we take a journey. We submerge ourselves past the light, past the known, and into the primordial. We journey to the bottom of the sea, to the very origin of origins. We seek the face of the Orisha who owns the abyss, the guardian of secrets, the keeper of the soul's memory. Today we dive into the waters of the unfathomable, the Orisha Olokun. Before there was land, before there was light, there was only water, a vast, endless, breathing ocean. And in those unfathomable depths lived a presence older than history, older than myth. Olokun, the spirit that remembers what humanity has forgotten and reveals only what a brave heart is willing to seek. If the ocean could speak, what secrets would it tell you? If the deep could mirror your soul, what truth would rise to the surface? In a world that moves fast and skims the surface of everything, Olokun calls us to slow down, breathe, and go deeper. Olokun teaches that true wealth is not just coins or coral. It is knowledge. It is healing. It is the courage to face your inner ocean without fear. This video is not just a history lesson. It is an invitation to look within, to honor your lineage, to reclaim the parts of yourself buried under time, trauma, or silence. Because when you honor Olokun, you honor the depth within your own spirit. Our story begins not in one place, but in a sacred dual cradles of civilization, the great kingdoms of Edo in Benin and the holy Yoruba city of Ile-Ife. Here our ancestors knew the sea was not an it, but a who. Olokun was revered as the divine custodian of all wealth, the giver of children to the barren, the source of inscrutable wisdom. In Benin, Olokun was the patron of royalty itself, the fish-legged figure of power that held up the Oba. This is not just history, it is a genealogy of worship. It is a spiritual bloodline. an ancient testament that two great peoples looked to the vast ocean. And they both saw the same awesome face. They looked upon the Olokun, the sacred brass head of Ife, an image of such profound, natural beauty that when colonizers first saw it, their minds broke. They could not accept that such genius was African. They invented fantasies of a lost Atlantis, of Greek gods. But our ancestors knew. This was not Poseidon. This was the face of the deep. This was art as an act of devotion, a fusion of the Ori, the inner head, our destiny, with the divine essence of the sea. Olokun's name means owner of oceans, Olo meaning owner, Okun meaning deep depth. Among the Yoruba and Edo peoples, Olokun rules the waters that existed before the world itself. In ancient Yoruba creation stories, when Obatala descended to create the earth, he disturbed the deep without permission. Olokun responded with a flood that nearly erased humanity. Only divine wisdom calmed those waters. This myth teaches a simple truth. When we forget respect for nature, for spirit, for our own inner depths, life becomes chaotic. Olokun's power reminds us that creation and destruction live side by side, just like the calm sea and the raging storm. In Edo tradition, Olokun appears as a majestic king enthroned beneath the sea, surrounded by coral, wealth, and spirit attendants. He is the source of abundance, children, and destiny. The Edo say no one lives without knowing Olokun, except the one who never spends money. Everything that nourishes life, prosperity, stability, lineage, flows from the ocean's generosity. Olokun is more than myth. Olokun is a metaphysical principle. Olokun represents the subconscious, dream vision, secrets of healing, emotional truth, the unresolved traumas we carry, the wisdom we uncover when we dare to face ourselves. In Afro-Cuban and Yoruba teachings, Olokun is a keeper of forbidden knowledge, ancestral memory, spiritual power, and the mysteries that shape destiny. Some lineages describe Olokun as beyond gender, both masculine and feminine, symbolizing totality, a deity of balance where strength meets compassion and destruction births creation. There is one Pataki, our sacred narratives, that tell us a truth that shakes the foundation of the world. They say that in the beginning there were two original co-equal gods. There was Olorun, the sky, and there was Olokun, the vast, formless, watery abyss below. She was content in her kingdom, but creation, as we know it, was an intrusion. It was Obatala who, finding the world incomplete, poured sand upon her domain, scattering it with a white hen to form the land. He created earth by intruding on Olokun's primordial realm, and Olokun was enraged. In a cosmic rebellion, she unleashed the great flood, reminding all of creation that the land exists only by the permission of the sea. The myths say she was chained to the bottom of the ocean to stop her fury. But we, the children of her mysteries, know this is not a chain of defeat. It is a metaphor for a fragile balance. It is a powerful acknowledgement that Olokun is the untamable power, the chaotic primal unconscious that lies just beneath the fragile surface of our ordered world. In another Pataki, Olokun became the wealthy but barren wife of Oduduwa. When her wealth was shattered by her rival's children, she did not simply fade, she transformed. She became the Atlantic Ocean itself, a force far greater than any domestic squabble. Olokun is the source of all Aje, wealth. Olokun is the depth beneath Yemanja's waves. Olokun is the primordial, untamable beginning. This are more than a myth. It is a warning. Power without wisdom is chaos. Wisdom without humility is danger. Depth must be approached with respect. Even today, some Lukumí initiates keep a symbolic chain near the Olokun vessel, honoring that lesson. From Nigeria to Benin to Cuba, Olokun's presence can be touched in both temples and tides. The Olokun Grove of Ilef, the legendary Ori Olokun brass head, ancient shrines in Benin City and Ogoton, the royal coral regalia gifted by Olokun to the Oba King's coastal colonies, where fishermen still pray at dawn, diaspora beach ceremonies from Havana to Salvador, Bahia, pilgrimages where offerings of flowers, coins, watermelon, and white cloth are given back to the sea across continents. One belief remains. The ocean itself is Olokun's temple. Every wave is a prayer in motion. Every shoreline is an altar. When enslaved Africans were forced across the Atlantic, sorrow and memory descended into the sea. Olokun became the guardian of the souls lost in the Middle Passage. For many in the diaspora, Olokun represents ancestral memory, mourning and healing, survival, return. The connection between Africa and the Americas in Cuba, Olokun is revered as an androgynous Orisha, whose mystery is so vast that few are initiated directly. Most receive Olokun as a stabilizing guardian, especially for health, mental clarity, and emotional grounding. In Brazil, Olokun reemerges through Candomblé, honored alongside Yemanja. In the US and Caribbean, Olokun is called upon during rites honoring ancestors lost at sea. Through every ritual, Olokun becomes the bridge between past and present, between Africa and the Americas, between grief and rebirth. So who is this mighty force? Is Olokun male? Is Olokun female? The answer is both. In West Africa, Olokun is often male on the coasts and female in the hinterlands. But in the diaspora, in our sacred Lukumí tradition, Olokun is revered as the ultimate androgynous force. Olokun is the totality that exists before gender. Olokun is the source that contains all possibilities. This is the face of the deity that crossed the ocean with us. And this is the heart of the mystery. For the children of the diaspora, Olokun holds a pain and a power that is not uniquely ours. Olokun's domain became a watery mausoleum. It is the sacred resting place for the souls of the millions of our ancestors who perished in the passage. Olokun became the custodian of their souls, the keeper of our severed ancestral memory. In Cuba, our great mothers of the faith, like the legendary Firminita Gomez, anchored this profound truth. Olokun is the cosmic gateway our spirits cross to be born, and the ancestral home they return to after death. To honor Olokun is to honor the Igun, the ancestors lost in the deep. It is to know that from the deepest, darkest, most miserable state, miraculous restoration can be born. Olokun is the symbol of the wealth, the life, and the power that was lost and is reclaimed. Olokun is the keeper of the deepest secrets. The Orisha of wealth, not just of coins, but of ancestral knowledge. The Orisha of fertility, not just of children, but of new ideas born in the dark. To walk with Olokun is to have the courage to gaze into our own unfathomable depths and find the priceless pearls, the forgotten treasures hidden there. Olokun is the darkness from which all new life springs. Today, Olokun's message is more relevant than ever. In a world full of noise, Olokun teaches depth. In a world full of fear, Olokun teaches courage. In a world full of distraction, Olokun teaches introspection. In a world facing ecological crisis, Olokun reminds us to honor the waters. Olokun calls us to remember within those unfathomable depths lives a presence older than memory, older than myth, older than the first name ever spoken on earth. Olokun, the one who remembers what humanity forgets, the one who reveals only what a brave heart is willing to seek. Pause for a moment and meditate. If the deep ocean could mirror your soul, what hidden truth would rise to your surface like a rising tide? In a world that rushes, a world that worships speed and lives only on the surface, Olokun invites you to slow down, to breathe, to descend. Olokun teaches that true wealth is not gathered in coins or coral. True wealth is knowledge. True wealth is healing. True wealth is the courage to face the storm inside you and not flinch. When you honor Olokun, you honor the depth within your own spirit. You acknowledge that your soul is not shallow water. It is a vast inner ocean with its own currents, its own light, its own hidden kingdoms. Olokun is more than a myth. Olokun is a metaphysical principle, the mystery at the bottom of existence, the power that lives beneath your thoughts, the silent origin of intuition, emotion, and ancestral memory. In this modern age, Olokun's message is sharper than ever. Olokun reminds us to defend the waters, for the waters defend us. Devotee, seeker, child of the deep, Olokun is not simply an ancient deity. Olokun is the mirror of the abyss, the keeper of the unknown, the guardian of those memories that has never surfaced in chains within the subconscious. Olokun is the one who calls you inward, to explore the ocean within yourself, to reclaim the parts of you that drifted beneath the surface, to become someone who knows their depth instead of fearing it. May you listen to the waves within. May you dive without hesitation. May you rise carrying the treasure only the deep can give. Olokun is not just the ocean. Olokun is the silent strength within you, the part of you that survives every storm, the wisdom buried beneath your fears, the abundance waiting for you to claim it. When you honor Olokun, you honor the depth of your own spirit. When you respect the ocean, you respect the ancestors who crossed it. When you seek the mysteries, you remember that you are part of something ancient, powerful, and unbroken. May Olokun bless your path with clarity. May the deep reveal your truth. May your spirit rise renewed, like a calm tide after the storm. Finally, we have stood at the shore of the unfathomable. We have heard the whispers of the Pataki and felt the echoes of our ancestors in the deep. But do not be mistaken. We have only just begun our descent. The history of Olokun is not a story, it is an ocean. And today we have only explored the sunlit surface. The true mysteries lie in the darkness below. In our next journey, we leave the shore behind. We will submerge into the practice, into the living worship of the Orisha of the abyss. We will explore the sacred rituals that open the gates to the deep. We will decode the esoteric meaning of the Tanaja, The vessel, the sacred pot that is a portal to Olokun's dark and silent kingdom. We will speak of the colors of the void, the tools of the deep, and the sacrifices that honors the abyss, the silent power that holds all the wealth and all the secrets of the world. This is where the mystery becomes the mastery. To be notified when we continue our descent, strike the bell of initiation and subscribe, if you haven't already, to this sacred circle, so you do not miss the call. And for all of you walking this path, I have a question. Comment below. What is the greatest treasure, be it wisdom, a lesson, or a blessing, that Olokun has ever brought to your life? Share your voice. Honor the deep. Until we meet again, may you be brave enough to seek the wealth hidden in your own darkness. To be continued, a shadow.